Hey there, if you are a web developer and creating web pages, you must have created pages using CSS and JavaScript libraries. There are so many fancy libraries provided to create a very nice layout using CSS and JavaScript. But sometimes you don't need them. The HTML and native HTML tags are very useful that you can only use HTML elements and you can create a very nice layout. So in this video, we will see 10 useful HTML one-liner tags. Let's get started. The first thing is tooltip. So for tooltip, HTML5 has one tag. Let's add one paragraph. Here we have one tag ABBR, the abbreviation, and title. This is tooltip. This is the title, and let me add some title here for it, and this is tooltip. This looks very basic, but no CSS or JavaScript is needed for adding a simple tooltip to your HTML elements. With the title attribute, you can easily add a tooltip to provide some extra informations to users. So this was a very good example. The second element, the second HTML element is text direction. So as you can see, this web page is in English and that's why it is from left to right. Let's say you are creating web page for an Arabic language. Arabic language has content from right to left. So for that, you have one HTML attribute called dir direction. By default, it is left to right, and you can change it to right to left. We go. It is right to left now, but we don't want complete HTML from right to left. So we can use a paragraph, and this is text for Arabic language. Bingo. This is now from right to left. So you can use this direction tag, a direction attribute, whenever you want a text from right to left, and default it is from left to right. Cool. So the third thing is editable content. So sometimes you want your users to give ability to edit content, and to make that there are some HTML attributes. Let me add one paragraph here. This is content. Okay, this is simple content. This is not editable yet. But to make it editable, you can use content editable true. By default, it is false. It is true. So this looks same, but when you double click, it is now editable. And you can add content. So you can make any content editable by setting content editable attribute to true. And it doesn't matter if it's div or paragraph, it will become editable. If you can also use is content editable property to find whether a certain element is editable or not, right? Okay. Next thing is download. So if you want your users to download some PDF or image files, you can do it using HTML. So for that, you need one anchor tag and some text. In anchor tag, you need to give href, the path of the image or whatever PDF file is there. Let's see what is there. In image, we have clouds. Let me give clouds.jpg. With this href, there is one more attribute called download and file name. You can give whatever name you want. Okay. Please make sure the path of the image or file is correct. And let's see. You can see the path is images-clouds.jpg, and when you click on that, it will download this file. Let's see on downloads. Bingo, it's fine, it's working. Okay, so this is a very simple and very easy way to make sure that user can download the files. You just have to make sure that the path of your image or PDF is correct. Okay, the next thing is lazy loading. So what exactly is lazy loading? So you can load images on demand by setting some attribute to image tag, right? So let's say, let me add some HTML here. Here we can add some paragraph. Okay, paragraph is there. After that, it's an image. We source images slash c.jpg. The file is already there. Okay, and let's see, it's working. So this is simple image, and when you reload the page, this image is loaded. The browser will download this image and you can see it. But if you want that image to be loaded only and only when user scroll this page and user see this image, what you can do, you can use a loading attribute, and the value of that loading attribute is equal to lazy. So you can't paste it on this HTML because it is loading very fast. You can't see the difference here, but you can check whenever you are using a page with lots of content, heavy images. So this is a very simple, effective optimization technique that loads only the section that is visible to the user, and the other images are loaded later as per user's requirement, right? So this is very useful. The next thing is word break. So word break is something you might need to use when you have content which is very awkward sometimes, right? We don't like when HTML breaks words, and when it is not supposed to break, right? So let's see, we have one paragraph and this is very long word. Let me get it out so we can see. Okay, and it should work. Let me remove some few words so we can taste. Yeah, so we can use one HTML tag here called WBR. We can use WBR here, and we can close paragraph WBR. Okay, so using WBR, you can easily point where it is okay to break words. Okay, this is very useful when the word is too long and there is a very good chance that the browser might break as the incorrect place. So sometimes when the user is looking for your website in a mobile or in tablet, there are few screens where this word might break. Okay, so using WBR, you can make sure that this word will break only at certain point of time, not in all the pages. I mean, not in all the places. So this is very useful as well. The next thing is basic accordion. So accordion is one of the very nice technique to show the content when content is very heavy and you want to show content based on the points. You can always use libraries. There are so many CSS libraries available. But if you don't want to use library and you just want a simple basic accordion, HTML5 has few elements, few tags. Details is a main tag. Okay, In details, you can add summary and title. Title is something that you need to show, and the next thing is paragraph. So let me simply copy this, okay, and paste. Bingo. This is basic accordion, right? Let me just copy and paste two more times so we can test it out. Title 3 and title 2. Title 1, title 2, title 3. Yeah. You can create a very basic and easy accordion by using details and summary semantic elements. So you have to wrap your accordion element with the details element. And for the title, use summary element. And lastly, use the paragraph to write the main content of the accordion. Right. The next thing is base URL. So base URL is something you might need to use when you have one single domain for your website. What does it mean? When let me show you with an example. In head tag, there is one base and that has attribute called href. Okay, href has https and something.com. Okay, and let's say target is equal to plain, that it will open in a separate tab. So when you use this base, as you can see, the images are missing because the images now are loading from something.com slash images slash c.jpg. That is not correct one. But in this example, what I want to show here, whatever base href value is there, it will append before this image URL. Right. So if you make calls to a common domain number of times on a website, you can always use base element to set a base URL as shown in this example. Right. So the actual value of this source will be updated as per this base URL. So let me remove this because it will not let those images load. Yeah, it's fine now. Okay. So the next thing is spell check. This is very interesting. You might haven't heard this. So spell check is something. Let me show you with an example. We have one paragraph and this is some paragraph. And as you can see, the spelling of the paragraph is correct. But what if I make it wrong and it looks fine? I can't see if it is correct or not. To fix this, there is one HTML attribute called content editable true, which will make it editable, and spell check is equal to true. Default value is false and true. We can make it true. So this looks same as before, but when you double click, as you can see, there is one red underline which is showing that this spelling is wrong. And let me add correct, and this is correct paragraph. Okay. You can see the difference. This is correct, so no underline. Still this is not correct, red underline. So the spell check attribute, when set to true, tells the browser that the user input in this element has to be checked for grammar and spelling mistakes. This is very handy attribute that users can ask to write a correct and error-free content. Bingo. The last HTML attribute is control paste and context menu. what is control paste. Okay, so sometimes you need user to restrict paste and few other actions. So let's say we have input field and with type is equal to text. Okay, and in this we have one value paste here. Okay, so let me add one tag so it looks fine. Okay, so this is a very basic input text field. Okay, and let me just copy this and paste it. It's working fine, right? So sometimes you want user not to you don't want user to paste like passwords, right? In that case you can use one HTML input attribute called on paste. Okay, and you can simply return false. Let's see what happens. So right now I want to copy and paste here, but I'm not able to paste because on paste event return false is there. Let's call one function here. Okay, my function, and we need to create this function in JavaScript file. Let me open the JavaScript file. Constant my function is equal to function. Here you can alert that called my function on paste. Let's see. I'm trying to paste something here and this function is getting called. Okay, similar to this there is another example. Let's add one here tag. Here we have one div. Okay, this is simple div. So this is div, nothing fancy. And when user clicks on this element, I want to perform some actions. For that, HTML has an attribute on context menu, and you can call the same function here. Let me just comment it out. Function on right click. In mouse, I am clicking right. So this function is called. When I double click, nothing happens. But when I right click on this text, this is getting called. So sometimes you don't want users to able to paste some passwords on input fields, then you can use on paste, and similarly you can use on context menu that fires whenever the user right clicks on that element, right? So this was the 10 HTML one-liners which is very good and you can use it on your development. I hope you like this video. Please give us a like and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. See you next time around. Thank you.